Welcome into another episode of Profits Picks. New week, new money. Let's get to these games. We have a game starting at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. We'll go in order that the games start. So we'll go there. That one's going to be Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Orlando Magic. Spread opening minus 14 for Milwaukee, and the total opening 225.5. And we haven't seen much movement on either. The total's still sitting at 225.5, and the spread dropped about half a point. And I'm not quite sure I agree with it. I mean, it's not a big move or anything, but I think after the little scuffle, the last game versus the Magic, I think the Bucks still find some kind of motivation to come out here and win by margin. Um, I think that's why they were motivated to be up by what almost 30 or however much it was at the half of the last game. And I just don't think you want to fuel them in that way. Um, both teams, I want to touch on that though. Both teams did shoot extremely well last game. Orlando shot 48% from three. Milwaukee shot 46% from three. And with Milwaukee, it's like if they want to blow you out, they're going to bring the defensive effort early and then get up by getting enough amount and then kind of just put it on cruise control. Um, so for that reason, if you like the under, I think you like it early, like towards the first quarter or first half. But in general, if you like the over, I think you want it for the entire game. Because if Orlando comes out early hot or early and takes the lead, Milwaukee's going to be forced to play at that pace or forced to play catch up. And as long as Orlando's scoring, I think this one goes over pretty easily. So I do lean towards the over. The over is 7-3 for Orlando when they face competition. 55% when teams are greater. That's their last 10 games. And for the Bucks, I just think they can score extremely easily. They can get whatever they want in the paint as long as they're hitting shots. I mean, they're going to get their buckets. It's just a matter of how much defense they play on Orlando and if Orlando can hit shots. So I'll bank that they can. I know they both shot very well last game. I think it could be another game where Milwaukee gets whatever they want, and we'll just see what we get from Orlando. So if you like the under, I would take it early. If you're leaning over, I would like it full game. And on the spread, I don't really want to back Orlando. I would probably look to take Milwaukee first half or even the full game. I think, like I said, after the scuffle, I think they have at least a little bit of motivation to come out here and just keep push them around and show them that they're the dominant team here. So I'll lean Milwaukee first half and full game, and we'll go over the total on the full game is my really my lean. And first quarter could start off slow if Bucks choose to play some defense. For a player prop, I have to go Evan Fournier under 17.5 points. I think he came back from injury to start this series, and he hasn't been doing too much. I think he scored what 9 points, maybe 13 points at the most, and maybe like 11 points or something like that. He has a tough matchup. I mean, the Bucks are a great defensive team, and coming back from injury, I mean, you don't really expect him to just get right back to scoring at a high clip that he was before. So I would lean towards Fournier under that 17.5 points, and I like that one a decent amount. So I think that's a pretty solid prop for this game. Next game we'll look at is going to be the Houston Rockets taking on OKC Thunder, and opening Rockets minus 3.5. Currently seeing 2.5 across the board, or 2.5 out there. Total opening 221. And we saw some interesting movement with this one. It dipped down to, I think, about 219 and a half or so. And now it's back up to 224. And I would agree completely with the move on the total. And I think it has to do a lot with Dort being out for this game. He defended James Harden very well. When he was defending him, Harden couldn't really do anything. But any other Thunder defender, James Harden is just fine. So I think James Harden bounces back in this game. I think he scores his points. Um, Rockets have plenty of 3 point shooters. They're going to get their 3 point shots up. I think that they have an okay time scoring. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. And the Thunder, you know, we're not sure if Steven Adams is going to play. He had a bone bruise last game. We'll see if he comes out in this one. But if he doesn't play, for sure. I mean, it makes it look like an over. Without Adams, the over is 25-10, um, and that's going back to when they drafted him. So he doesn't miss many games, in my opinion. But when he does, I mean, it's less protection in the paint. And if Harden doesn't see a big guy down there, I mean, they're gonna be shooting threes. He's gonna be driving to the rim, dunking. They'll get pretty much whatever they want. And from the OKC side, looking at when they're playing less than 65% win teams with a total between 215 and 226, the over is 8-2. Average total was 221.9, going over by 6.4 points per game. So I mean, I've heard Billy Donovan say before that this team is better when they play faster, and I think that that's the way that they have to approach it. I mean, I know you necessarily don't really want to run against Houston, but if that's the way your team is playing good, or that's where your offense is going to have success, I think that's what you have to do, especially if you don't have an Adams and a Dort to help you on defense. It seems like a lot of defense missing, um, and should be a lot more scoring in this game. So I do agree with the move towards the over. And on the spread, it's still do or die for OKC. We saw them respond in the last game, but like I said, they won't have Dort and maybe won't have Adams. And if they don't have both, it's very tough to see them pulling this one out. If I think you have to pay attention to the injury news. If Adams is in and no Dort, I still think OKC um, plus the points has a chance to stick around because they're going to give it all that they have. But if you don't have Steven Adams and Dort, I mean, Houston Rockets should take care of business in this game rather easily. So that's the way I'll go. If it stands right now, I do think Adams will play, and I would lean more towards taking OKC. For a player prop in this game, I think the best way to approach this one is with Jeff Green. I mean, his rebound total is at 5.5. He's had more than 6 rebounds or 6 or more rebounds each game this series. And if Steven Adams misses, I mean, that's even more opportunity for him to grab rebounds. It should be a smaller player over there for OKC, and the lineup probably will match small ball versus the Rockets. So I would like Jeff Green over that 5.5 rebound as my prop for this game. And we'll move on to the next one. We'll go Indiana Pacers taking on the Miami Heat. Indiana has not looked good at all. But opening Heat -7.5. Currently dropped down. We're seeing Heat -6 out there. Total opening 216.5. And we're now seeing 217. And I'm not quite sure I agree with the line move for the spread. Yeah, it's do or die for Indiana, but I mean, what really have they seen? I mean, what really have we seen from them? They maybe hang around early in the games, but the bench, they have a tough time scoring. They play hot potato with the ball. They don't nobody wants it. And when it comes down to the fourth quarter, I mean, we've seen them disappear a couple times already. And I mean, that's not a team that I really trust to hang around in the game. Maybe you take them early if you like Indiana, but I think over the course of the game, it has to be Miami. But we'll look at the injury report and we see Crowder questionable, Iggy questionable. I mean, maybe that helps Indiana score if both of those guys don't play. That's some defense there. Uh, that should open things up a little bit for Indiana. Looking at Indiana as a dog, playing competition, 55% win teams are better with a line greater than or equal to 5. They're 7-16 against the spread their last 23. Um, that means they're only covering about what 30.4% of the time. The average line was 7, and they failed to cover by about 5.9 points per game. And 3 of the wins of that trend were in the bubble. Versus they were good teams, but teams that didn't necessarily care. That's when T.J. Warren was going off. So the only one that mattered in the bubble, they lost, and that was versus the Heat. I don't necessarily trust this Indiana team. If they have all the injuries for Miami, if Crowder's out and Iggy's out, yeah, I can see it. But if those guys are in, I think Miami takes care of business. Nate McMillan did complain about free throw disparity, but I mean, I just think Miami's doing a better job on offense, honestly. And in this one, like I said, this is my reasoning for the total. It rose a half a point, but I don't trust Indiana to score, especially at the end of the game. I've seen them just look terrible a couple times already. I trust Miami to play defense. as long as your defensive guys are in. So those defensive guys are in, I lean towards this full game to go under. If Icky and Crowder are out, I probably will lean more towards an over. And I think honestly, if you like the over, you like it earlier. These teams seem to start a little bit faster, and then you want to avoid that Indiana bench, but it's late in the fourth quarter too, where Indiana just kind of either gives up or doesn't score. So I would like to avoid that if I like the over, and I'll take the over early. So pay attention to injury reports. If Iggy and Crowder play, which I think they will, I will lean towards the under. But if they don't, a lot of defense missing, and I do like Miami as long as those guys play. If they don't play, you probably look towards Indiana. Player prop in this one, I would go towards Bam Adebayo. Rebounds 9.5. I think as long as he stays out of foul trouble, he'll grab as many boards as he wants. I don't think 9.5 is a big total at all. We've seen him grab double digits already a couple times in this series, so I don't think that's asking too much. And Goran Dragic has kind of done whatever he wanted. He's in the starting lineup now, averaging about 22 points per game. His point total is close to 20 points. I think he can reach that, but I do like Bam the best. So we'll roll with that one there, and we'll move over to the last game on the card, and this one will be my Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, I love my Lakers, and it's Mamba Day, 8/24. Happy Mamba Day, everybody. They're taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Line open Lakers -7.5. Currently sitting at 7. Total opening 224.5, and it's ticked up just a bit. Ticked up to 225.5. And usually I say if you like Portland, you like the over. If you like the Lakers, you like the under. In this game, I think it's a little bit different. Last game it was right on the margin. The number was pretty sharp. Ended with 224 points. The total was 224.5. Blazers, they only shot 34% from 3. Lakers shot 33% from 3. I think both can improve. I don't think we see Portland. I think we see a better Portland team in this game here. But we can't forget, it's Mamba Day, like I said. I believe they're going to wear the Kobe jerseys or the Hollywood Knights jerseys to represent Kobe or honor him in this game. And I think that they come out ready to play. Portland, even without that, Portland, they just look gassed. They've played about 2 series already. Every game has mattered for them since they entered the bubble. This is now game 12 since the restart for them, and every game has mattered. Like they've played 2 series already. So I think that they are gassed. I think you see it more later in the game than early. Portland is also a team that they play better in the first quarter, first half, and kind of cruise or not as good in the second half. I think the Lakers play with some fire on Mamba Day, and I think the spread. If you like the Lakers, you like them full game because they can pull away at the end of the game. You see Portland get gassed. I think even though it should be motivated, I think Portland's motivated as well. I think Portland comes out on fire. So if you like Portland, I would take them early, first quarter, first half. I like the Lakers. I would take them probably on the full game. And as far as the total, like I said, I think both teams shoot better. They were right there in the last game on the money, 224.5. And neither team shot extremely well. So I think we get a better offensive showing from both teams in this game. So we'll go over the 225.5. And for player props here, I think LeBron comes out motivated. I don't see anybody stopping him on Portland. The first game, he had a triple-double fairly easily, even though they lost. I think as long as his points, rebounds, and assists are under 50, I think he reaches it in this game. Other than that, I would look at. I could talk about a few different player props. I like Kuzma. He's had, as long as he plays, as long as the game is not a blowout, which I don't think it will be this time. Kuz over 4.5 rebounds. I think that's fairly solid. He's been grabbing the rebounds as long as he's playing. And Kuz over 12.5 points. There should be plenty of points to go around. I think Kuz gets his fair share. If I had to choose between one or the other, I might choose the rebounds. just because I think there's a great opportunity for him to grab him. And one last one, if I want to take one from Portland, I probably would look at Nurkic. He's looks extremely gassed. He doesn't even. He's not even defending. Like he's barely moving over to defend layups and not going for rebounds, not boxing out. He looked so gassed in that last game. So I'm not expecting him to do much here. Lakers' interior defense is extremely solid. They're holding him down. I think they do it again another day. I think his point total was about 17 points. I'm not. I think it was 17 and a half, but I don't think he has a good day at all. So those are the player props I like in that game. And that is all we have for today. So thank you for rocking with me on another episode of Profits Picks. Best of luck if you tell everybody. Let's have a good week this week. We'll be back every day, Monday through Friday. See you guys again tomorrow.